leader, Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another presentation here of the Saturday afternoon Super Formula B Series here on the iRacing Officials. Presented, of course, in partnership by SimRacingNation.com. You are watching VSPEED. Along for the ride tonight, Logan Santa Threlkeld will be your lead commentator. I am your color and producer, Morgan Cook. You, of course, are watching VSPEED. Logan?
Mr. Cook, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're having a good time. We are fired up here. A little French racing action at a racetrack that we both had difficulty pronouncing. We're going to go with Magny-Cours here this evening. But Logan, you got some laps around this place this morning. Tell me a little bit about it.
This place is fast. Let me tell you, Morgan, we've got a couple sections here that we're going to see the top speed of these cars nearing, 300 kilometers an hour. But we're going to start it on the front stretch. We've got a left-hander down into turn 1 and turn 2, Magny-Cours, and then we're going to have a sweeping right-hander for turn number 3. Estoril, that'll send us to our longest portion of the track. That's where we're going to see that 300 kilometers an hour all the way across through turn 4, down into turn 5 in Adelaide. A hairpin that you are going to see everybody slam on the brakes down to first gear. It is a very tight corner. No real passing opportunity unless you really want to test the brakes, as you want as wide of an entrance as possible. You will see quite a few drivers send it down to the bottom there to try to make it past. Nürburgring, turn 7 and 8, all the way to turn 9 for a 180 left-hander. And it's going to sweep back to the left a little bit more, back to the right, down into turn 12 at Mola, turn 13, turn 14 will be a sharp 90-degree turn back to the right. And that'll be about our second longest portion of the track into our final corners, turn 15, 16, and 17, Complex Ulysse, back to our start-finish line. 2.74 miles around here, Morgan.
That's how you do a lap here. Heard it from Logan. We'll see how these drivers fare at this facility, as it is now time for the grid. Starting on the pole, none other than last week's winner, Kevin Jansu Foster. Second spot will be JT Smeaton. Third, Simon Scholes. Fourth will be Valerio Tavares. Fifth, Marcos Alarcon. 6th to be Alexander Shushki. 7th, Felipe Sarkis. 8th, Ludwig Ranson. And your top 10 belongs to Kyle Shepard and Ancesla.
In the 11th starting spot, it's Larry Johnson with the 18 of Andre Zenon in 12th. 13th, Leandro Tercet next to the 19 of Darcy Ducour. 15th would be Court Smith in the 13 machine next to the 14 of Jamie Byrne. 17th, Brett Greaves next to the 7 of Andrew Petty. In 19th, Sebastian Rodriguez next to Daniel Ramos in 20th. 4 more on the grid. 21st, Pontus Cosculion. I apologize for that. That is completely incorrect. Next to the 9 of Victor On. And last but not least, our final row for the night. And 23rd, Vic Gonzalez next to the 24 of Paul Lee.
And that is a look at your grid here today. Let's have a look at these cars that sit on the grid waiting for a couple more drivers. About to get this thing underway.
Full field, Morgan. This is going to be a blast out here tonight. Almost every single car making the field.
Here we go. 24 cars at the ready. We're off.
A lot of shuffling around. One already back off into the sand. That's going to be Anna Smith. Falling back, I believe. I apologize. No, Anna Smith still up in the top 10. That might be Brett Greaves back there. But it's going to be all-out action because we're going to make it through the technical section of this track.
Wide.
Here's that tight one.
Oh, he missed the braking zone.
Locks it up. Larry Johnson off in the grass, the number 15. Doesn't make contact with the wall. The nose still intact. We'll be able to get back out on track. But it's going to be a long drive there for the 15 back to catch up to the field. Single filed out through the rest of it. Here we are through that middle section of the track coming down to turn 12 now.
Everyone just trying to get their bearings here.
Out. This is a tough track. Very technical, very fast, Morgan. It's easy to, with how many corners we have, 17 corners here over 2 3/4 of a mile circuit. This is very easy to get mixed up on where you're at on the track surface.
Absolutely, it would be. And you mentioned 2 words that don't typically go together, and that's fast and technical. Usually it's one or the other, slow technical sections or fast sweeping sections. It's rare that you have 2 of those, those 2 competing ideas on the same facility. And as you mentioned, this entire track really fits that bill as we see a battle here, for third.
This one down into that tight right-hand corner. The hairpin, and it's all about getting that exit. The exit line can vary. Looks like the outside prevails just enough here. This is one of my favorite corners in that practice session. Again, very tight and very fast. Hard on the brakes down into turn 9. It gets a little slippery out there once you're on the outside edge of turn 9 on the exit. A lot of debris can be kicked up on the track there. Really gets the back end of the car extremely loose.
It's something we never got a chance to look at. Let's have a look at that race analysis while we're here. 26 laps is the length of this race, as you can see up in the upper left. Pit road speed limiter is available. Shouldn't have to pit here, but it's possible. We do have wet tires just in case it were to rain. We don't have any chance of rain here in this session, but things do happen. Standing start we already saw, and we are running open setup, so that could be interesting, seeing which setups come in as that fuel burns off and which are fast early, slower late. I'll be definitely curious to see what that looks like the rest of the way.
93 degrees on the track surface right now as well, so temperature not really going to be too big of a factor here. That's pretty calm in terms of open-wheeled racing.
Absolutely. We got a battle here for 23rd. Gonzalez and Leak. Leak falling a little bit off his. I believe he got some pretty good damage from that initial incident to start the race here. He's just trying to bide his time at this moment.
Gonzalez did have issues off track as well, but kept a healthy car. Able to pick up the speed, gets around Leak with ease. But again, it's another driver that's got a long drive back up to the rest of the field. We've got 25 seconds between our first place Yansu Foster and 23rd Vic Gonzalez. So not quite half a lap, about a quarter of a lap or so.
Oh, someone's way off track here.
A lot of debris down in that corner.
I have never seen that before, where multiple cars have tires full of gravel. That was quite a sight. Everyone able to keep it on the racetrack. That was right at the end of this facility here. And that last corner, I feel like, is going to be trouble, Logan, with that curb right in the middle of the turning lane, so to speak, as they come onto the straightaway.
Yeah, it is a very tough one to navigate, but with the skill these drivers have, they make it look easy. 4 laps now on the books. Yansu Foster out just over a second, nearly a second and a half over JT Smetten in the number 2. Simon Scholes still holding out in that 3rd position. Another second and a half back off the 2nd place.
Driver we haven't seen yet in this series, Darcy Dupuy. Here in 16th position in the 19 machine. Down a couple from where he started and defending right now against the number 4 machine.
Alexander Shusky in that 4 machine, just hounding right behind Darcy Dupuy. We'll see this battle stick around for quite a while, I believe, as we've got some movement up near the top 5. It's that 6 of Ludwig Ranson. I apologize.
You can tell that name pronunciation is not something either of us are terribly great at. Apologies to everyone who is, in this session who we've butchered your names. It's happened for the last few weeks, and we just cannot seem to get it sorted out here. If you do happen to be in the VSPEED Discord, and I highly suggest that you do join, I believe the link is in the video subscription, and you're one of the drivers in this session, go in here. There's a channel for name pronunciations, if that's something you're interested in. As well, if you want to interview after the race, anyone in this session is eligible for an interview with us. This is an official event. So if you want to, come chat with us after the race, and we'll have a chat with you of how your race went.
Well, the race is going great so far as Yansu Foster extending that lead now to nearly 2 seconds over JT Smeeten. Putting it down up there in that number 1 spot. Bringing it back from the win last week. This could be big for Foster here.
Absolutely. Let's have a ride on board for a good chunk of a lap and just see kind of what he has to go through to pilot this car around this facility. Maybe you can talk us through it as well, Logan, of what we got going on here.
As we are coming through Complex du Lacey, to the front stretch we go. About right there where he touched the grass is the start-finish line, officially at the back of the grid. This is a very high-speed section, a little off the throttle here as you want to keep the downforce on the nose of the car. You want to put that inside line, swing it wide on the exit. And here we go. You will see 180 miles an hour before you see the brakes be applied at the end of this long straight into turn 5. Nearly 180, but all the way down to first gear. 180 down to 35 miles an hour, mind you. That is a lot of G-force on the neck in the real car. Another high-speed section here. Quick switch back right to left for that Nürburgring as turn 7 and 8. The 180 for turn 9, sweeping back to the left. Another decent straight here to turn 12. Another tight right-hand switch back to the left, almost chicane style. You can carry a lot of momentum through there, hard on the brakes down into turn 14, as that is a tight 90-degree right-hander that sweeps out a little bit longer. This portion of the track labeled as the chicane, pretty straight though for being a chicane, down into turn 15. One more of a chicane back to the start-finish line. That is a lap on board with Kevin Yansu Foster.
Yeah, great lap there. That was almost the fastest lap of the day. In fact, a 19 flat is what he ran right there. But I think now's a good time, 7 laps in, to go quickly through your field, show where all your favorite drivers are running. Obviously, Yansu Foster is currently the leader. We got JT Smetten hanging out third. Oh, we have an issue here. Oh my goodness, the number 11 is in the dirt. To come back and see what happened to that machine.
Simon Scholes having issues, catches the curbing That's a big hit to the underside of that car. That will likely be some suspension damage as well. Takes it down into turn one.
He got some
a little
help.
bit of contact. That's 2 of them collected there. Who's the other driver?
I don't know who that was, but he definitely got help. Was it Leak? I'm not sure. Ramos? It was Ramos. Daniel Ramos got into him as well. Yeah, that was a unfortunate incident for both of those drivers.
Was able to keep it out on the track. Scholl's night will be ended early. So it's an immediate tow back to the pit lane.
Absolutely. Let's try that through the field again. The leader, Kevin Jansu Foster. JT Smeaton running in second, about 3 seconds behind. Marcos Alarcon, 6 seconds back of your leader in third. Valerio Tavares in fourth. That is your points leader as well. We'll look at the points here in just a minute. Ludovic Ranson in fifth. Philippe Sarcase is sixth. Leandro Tercet in P7. NC Law in eighth. Kyle Shepard in ninth. And Andre Zanin in the 10th position. Logan?
Back in 11th, we've got the 7 of Andrew Petty, who we've seen up in the standings so far this season. Fell back a little bit this week, but 12th is Court Smith. The 14 of Jamie Byrne running 13th right now. The 21 of Pontus. Sorry, I don't want to do it again.
Koskelainen?
Pontus. That sounds good enough to me in 14th.
Tried.
And Alexander Shushki in the 15th position. Darcy Ducot in 16th. Sebastian Rodriguez runs the 20 in the 17th position on the screen right now. We'll lose a couple spots back to 19th. Now back to 20th. Brett Greaves holding down the 17th spot. Now Victor Odd in 18th. Larry Johnson, who we saw just get around. Sebastian Rodriguez holds down 19th.
Daniel Ramos, P21 right now. Vic Gonzalez is 22nd. Paul Leak, last driver running, in 23rd. Simon Scholes is off of the racing surface, of course. We saw him crash earlier in the session. That's a quick look through your field of all the drivers running. And as we said, we should have a look at those points. We didn't get to do it at the top of the show. That is how all of the drivers across all the official sessions in this series in the last 7 weeks have had their points tallied. Valerio Tavares has leapt up the point standings, and he is your points leader with 32 wins. Rest of the drivers, you can see where they are. Many of these drivers in the race today. So we have a great battle. Put that away for a second. Great battle over 14th. Just about had a 3-way battle for that position. Didn't quite happen.
It's developing, though. It'll start to form back up. It's like you said, with those open setups, now is the time where we see, what the preference is on the build. If it's the short run speed or if it's the long run speed. And this is where we're going to start to see some of these drivers stack back up based off of that strategy. And a little bit of a touch on the points there that you had on the screen. Tavares adds 4 wins this past week. That's impressive. Went from 28 last week to 32 this week. 5th in the points to 1st. Dan Yang moves up to the top 10 as well with 4 wins on the week. Marcos Alarcon falls back moves up from 8th to 2nd. Petty and Branch have both lost multiple spots and fell out of the top 5. So kind of a big week here for the point standings.
A big spin here for Andre Zanin here off of that final corner. Sorry to cut you off there again, Logan, but definitely something we got to keep an eye on here as the 18 has found himself in the inside barrier, caught that curb, caught the grass. Pretty heavy damage to the nose.
Grass on the exit of the final corner. It's very treacherous. Once you get the car unsettled with that slight bump to the curbing, it's very easy to find yourself putting the right side tires about halfway onto the grass, and that is enough just to send it around, as we saw right there.
Absolutely, and that's no fast repairs in this series, so those are 2 drivers who are going to be out of this race. Vic Gonzalez also is 1 lap down. He's off the pace on pit road right now, so he's still in the session, but not on the racetrack at the moment. Paul Leak in 21st, the last driver running at this moment.
This battle has been starting to form. We're looking at the 3rd place spot of Marcos Alarcon just outside of the screen there. And then Valerio Tavares running in that 4th position. Now riding on board with Alarcon, looking off the back end. And you can see Tavares where he'll be making up his ground. I believe it's mostly into the corners. A little bit later on the braking. This turn 5 will be a big one to see as he's going to send it way deep into the corner, nearly on the back end of Alarcon. Alarcon gets a great exit though. Tavares will close that gap from 0.7 of a second down to just a half second. There's a little bit of ground through that section of the track. This one here was a tough corner for myself in the practice session. It's the 180, they're very hard to just find where you need to keep the momentum. The inside line seemed to work. The middle line seemed to help a little bit more on the exit, but you really had to slow down on the entrance.
So we got another good battle back here. This is for 15, 16, 17 drivers all over each other. So look at Victor Odd. There's 4 of them nose to tail here.
We've got Brett Greaves catching up to the 21 right now. Victor Odd behind Greaves. Larry Johnson right there in the picture. So the 4-car battle, it's going to be one to keep an eye on. We'll take a little bit of time here on the nose of Larry Johnson at the back of this one. See who's going to have the momentum to start making some passes. One thing to keep in mind we haven't talked about this week. We talked about it a lot last week, that OTS. 200 seconds of usage here today. Oh, off into the grass for Johnson. A little bit wide on corner exit, but keeps the back end underneath the car. He's going to lose some ground. And look at the move up just ahead. Side by side down into turn 5. Woo, it got pretty close there.
It did.
Could have been a lot worse.
Not even halfway yet.
This is the battle with Brett Greaves and the 21 of Pontus Koskelen. I tried.
Let's go with Pontus for now.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
Apologies, Pontus. We'll get your name right here eventually. But B15 for you right now, having a good run. That Monster Energy machine trying to slowly pull away from this trio behind him. Maybe catch up to that Red Bull car a little farther up the road. The 9 machine, sorry, in 9th, the 22. Ansi Law sliding off the corner in the Red Bull machine.
Ansi Law, a newcomer to the top 20 of points as well. We saw that name there holding down. Oh, loose off the final corner. A great save, though.
Yeah, Jamie Byrne had to drive that thing up off the corner. Usually when these things get sideways, they don't like to be saved. Aero platform much prefers to be planted. Of course, was able to bring it back nonetheless and that over that curb and kept it out of the inside wall.
Will say, oddly enough, the couple times that I did get extremely loose in the practice session I had was I found the best tactic to save it was to just let go of the wheel. This car very much like to self-correct. It's very interesting to be behind the wheel of it.
So the opposite of a stock car. Very good to know. Stock cars, you need all of the wheel and all of the pedal talent to be able to save one of those things. Yeah, definitely interesting the differences between the oval side where we come from and then the open wheel side, which we are currently exploring here with this iRacing official.
Turn 12, 13, down to turn 14 here. One more high-speed section of the track before we get back to the front stretch. We're now with Victor Odd in the 17th position, looking off the back at the 15 of Larry Johnson, who has caught back up since hitting the gravel pit just a few laps ago. He now has Sebastian Rodriguez all over the back end. He's fighting for position and holding his position right now. This is your fastest section of the track. Again, 175, 180 miles per hour. And a big lockup on the brakes there. Saves it off the back end, keeps the nose intact. That's the most important aspect of this race, is keeping the front wing attached to the car. There's a lot of opportunities to get to the driver in front of you and completely dismantle your race from that point on.
They got to keep the parts and pieces on the car, keep the car on the racetrack, and You got a pretty good chance of it, at the very least, finishing the race, which in official races is typically just the goal, is get through it, see if you can gain or lose some iRating, and get out and do the next one. That's at least always been my view of it. I'm just trying to have some fun, but also just finish the race, complete all the laps, and see where the cards shake out.
Brett Greaves still trying to do something to the 21 of Pontus here. Pontus off into the grass on the last corner exit there. We're seeing that spot become more and more treacherous as this race goes on. A lot more drivers getting that corner exit. Just a little bit too wide as we are a little bit further up the field. Court Smith, Alexander Shusky. Shusky to the inside, makes it stick. Turn 5 works out.
P11 now for Shusky in the 4 machine. So a little below where you would expect that car to be running. I'd expect him obviously up in the top 5. A little work to do to get there. Maybe that open setup will start to show its glory here in the final half of this race. As we are at lap number 15 of 26. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here.
Ansu Foster has seemingly walked away from the field now with a 6-second lead over JT Smeaton. The number 2 still holding down the 2 spot. Marcos Alarcon has found his way up to the top 3. Number 3 with a 3-second advantage. Lario Tavares looking to make his way up to the top 3. He wants another podium this week, Morgan.
Well, of course. I mean, why not try and get that podium every single time as the points leader, trying to go out here and get that certificate at the end of the year, saying that I was the best driver in this series throughout the entirety of this series this season. That is exactly what these drivers are trying to do, and it's a pretty tight battle up at the top as well. I mean, it's only 76 points. We've been seeing guys routinely gain 200 to 300 points a week here. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to see somebody move from around that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th spot up into the top 3. It could definitely happen.
It certainly can. And, you know, Dennis Branch, Andrew Petty, they were up there in the top 5. Branch leading the points last week, has not raced a single race in this configuration. Has not been to this track yet to increase that lead at all. Falls all the way back to 7th. Petty.
Oh, spin!
Way.
Pontus.
Maybe contact from behind in this one. We know that battle was coming. Keep an eye on that 21 there.
There's a slow car as well. Oh, definitely contact.
Oh, yeah, contact knocks the rear wing off.
Then that came back. Oh, then he got loose on his own. Too much power trying to do that fight. And yeah, so he didn't actually hit anything. Just a little bit of damage to that wing, of course, from the contact. I want to go back one more time and see who's stopping the racetrack.
There's that corner exit issue on turn 9 that I mentioned.
Right.
Couldn't quite catch a number on that. Maybe that could have very well been Paul Leake.
It is Paul Leake, yes.
Paul Leake being scored 1 lap down at the moment. Yeah, that just a little too wide out of turn number 9. It gets extremely loose out there with the debris.
Right.
I think that's probably what claims that 21 of Pontus.
Yeah, just a combination of things that they all lined up in just the wrong way to make that that machine go around. And again, no damage, I don't believe. He's still on the racetrack, 1 lap down now on pit lane. Just the damage on the wing, of course, from the contact, but no damage from the spin. Just a lot of track position lost. He'll likely finish 20th or 21st here in this race. Three-way battle on the racetrack. NC Law, Petty, and Shushki, 9, 10, and 11.
Trying to look back there and see who it was that made the contact on the back end of the 21. Trying to check out their front wing.
I believe that was Larry Johnson. Yes, you can see it on the bottom right of your screen. A lot of paint lost on Larry Johnson's front wing here.
Purple body part there as well. So that certainly affects the aerodynamics, the braking ability of this car. We're going to see just how much it affects it here in the turn 5, the hardest braking zone on the track. seems to handle it pretty well. So Johnson able to adapt to the newly designed car.
Doesn't look too bad from a distance, but up close, definitely has been through the ringer, so to speak.
Shusky is catching up to Petty for that 10th position right now. We'll get an onboard for this one. The number 4 holding down the 11th spot into turn number 15 here. It's a good spot to gain some ground as well, but you have to be extremely
Oh, there's a
careful.
spin! Law's around!
Francis Law loose out of turn 17, ends up backwards facing the wrong direction. Shusky able to get around. Petty was able to get around. Now Shusky into the top 10 with really no contention right now. The 13 of Court Smith 3 seconds behind. Back here on the replay, we'll take a look at what happened to Law. The entrance of turn 15 there. 16 looked all right. Caught the curbing on the inside of 17. We saw it once, we saw it again. We'll see it more.
Yeah, so hard to hit that properly, of course. Big elevation changes, big bumps you have to hit right at that moment. These cars with their fairly rigid suspension, not used to hitting bumps that big, can unsettle that car very quickly. And if you have a little too much wheel in it, or you're on throttle or anything like that, definitely could be a bad case for you, as we just saw with that Red Bull machine.
Law falls back to the 16th spot, out of the 9th position, just ahead of Petty and Shusky. It's a lot of ground lost there, even though the field pretty well spread out. We've got about a 10-second gap or so between where Law ended up going around and coming back out into the field. So not too bad, but still have to kind of kick yourself in the rear for that one. That's just one of those mistakes that can sneak up on you, Morgan.
We've talked about it for the last couple weeks, and this is top split. These guys are the best in the series at doing this. They know how to drive these cars. They are very good at driving these cars, and it's rare that we see mistakes out of them, right? We're talking guys who are like Jansu Foster, up almost at 6,700 iRating. To put that in context, the average when you start is 1350, the highest ever, which I believe is 11,000. I think that was on the oval side. I'm not sure about the road side. Regardless, we're talking about drivers who are up in the top 1.5% or 2% of the service in this race. Some of the best drivers that are on iRacing in the Formula ranks are in this race and around this series. So to see these guys make mistakes is definitely surprising, and not something that we're going to see very often.
And, just to add on to that, the current strength of field for this race today nearing almost 4,000 in the iRating category. So one of the strongest ones that we've seen so far here on these Saturday afternoons. Jansu Foster has extended that lead up to 8.5 seconds now over JT Smeaton, holding it down with a 1.5 second advantage over Marcos Alarcon. Tavares still in the 4th spot, looking to make his way up, has closed that gap up just ever so slightly, holding on just within 2 seconds off the back end for that 3rd spot.
Closest battle on the racetrack right now is this one for 9th. Petty and Shusky.
Shusky looking for an opportunity here. You can see that green light lit up just over the driver's head in the intake. He is on that OTS system, looking to try to make up some ground. He's going to be right here all over the back bumpers. We're going to go into a very tight chicane here that you can carry quite a bit of speed. It's a very odd up and down corner. So elevation change here, although not very much, it is frequent.
Yeah, really a beautiful facility here. I've never seen this racetrack be used personally, but it has really been quite a treat to watch races here. As you mentioned, very fast, technical, some small elevation changes that just make it a little more difficult to drive, but also a lot of fun to drive. As we are side by side into this first section, off in the grass, onto the pavement there. I thought he was going to maybe hit the dirt. He's going to have to regroup here. Probably take him 2 to 3 laps to catch back up from what he just lost.
Yeah, turn 3 very wide on the outside of the track. That's very helpful. There's a lot of speed that you can carry through 1 and 2. And it can get you wide out of 3 and very unsettled, but gives you plenty of room to collect it back up and back up onto the racing surface. So, you know, he does lose all that ground that he just made up, but he will have time still to collect it back up. As we are 5 to go. Ranson in the number 6, holding down that 6th spot. Looking to make it up to the top 5. Felipe Sarkis just ahead by about a half second.
The 6 machine is one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack here in the last handful of laps. Let's put up everyone's last lap time. See a lot of 18s, a couple 19s. Foster in the 6s. See Tavares and Ranson in the 9s. So drivers definitely getting faster as this race has gone on. We started off kind of in the mid-19 second bracket, 119s. Here we are, definitely getting a little bit faster as we get closer to the end.
And ironically enough with that, it is hotter on the track. Ranson fakes a look to the inside of turn 5. Setting up for it. It's going to come. Just don't know when. He's got to keep Sarkis on his toes.
You're right, Logan. 10 degrees hotter on the racetrack. That is a little bit more than what you would expect just from drivers running on the racing line. That's only a degree or 2, so definitely getting warmer out here, but these open setups are seeming to handle this very well. They had this in mind clearly when they started the race.
Now with some cloud coverage, we'll see that track temperature come down a few more degrees, maybe back into just the double digits. As you can see, no cautions on the night. 0 lead changes. Jansu Foster started on the pole, has held it down at the front of the field the entire time. Now out by 9.5 seconds. Will easily cross that 10-second margin before this one is all said and done with 3 to go.
Absolutely. This is definitely the closest battle on the racetrack. 5th and 6th. Sarkis and Ranson.
Duski in that 10th position, also mounting a charge back up to Andrew Petty. So I'll keep my eye on that as we have this one here. Who's going to make the move into turn 5? We're going to stay defensive at the front. Sarkis, the inside line, takes it away. Ranson nowhere to go. You can't really make that pass on the outside of turn 5. He's going to lose some ground here down into turn 9, 10, and 11. With Sarkis and Petty now separated by less than 0.2 of a second. High speed portion of the track. Hard on the brakes for turn 9. Keep it close on the inside there. That's a good corner from both of those drivers. No ground going to really be gained or lost. Shusky on the throttle though, catching up, using that draft as much as possible. The number 7, he's going to have to play it defensive here. We'll see what Petty has in store. Nothing from behind before Shusky is going to hold it down one more time behind. 2 to go this time around. Jansu Foster on an island all by himself. Right now working through, it's going to be turn 9. So already a half track ahead of the rest of the field. Nearly.
It's been a dominant day for Jansu Foster. Started on pole, has led every single lap. Finds himself over 10 seconds in front of a hotly contested second place battle. But I don't think either of them are going to have enough for Jansu Foster unless something outrageous were to happen. Final corner here. And the white flag has been displayed one more time around. Should have been waving it. He wasn't. It was in his hand. One more time around here to claim his 2nd win in a row in this VSPEED, SimRacingNation.com, and iRacing collaboration for the officials here in the B-Class Super Formula Series.
The battle for 2nd has smoothed out just a touch. Alarcon fell back to almost a 2nd behind JT Smeaton. But back there for that 9th position, Petty and Shusky still battling it out side by side at times. As Foster will take it down through the 180. About a half track to go before claiming that second victory here.
Victor Odd is around off the final corner. See if we can get a quick replay here. And then go back to Jansu Foster crossing the finish line. Same story, different driver. Caught the curb, around it goes.
Good job to keep it off the racing line and off the wall. Jansu Foster coming out of turn 17, down the front stretch one final time, takes home win number 2 and 26 laps led for Kevin Jansu Foster.
Absolutely dominant performance here. Not much more you can say about it. Leading every lap, was the only driver to touch the 17s here tonight with the fastest lap. Just really an unbelievable drive. Kevin Foster here tonight. And I imagine we're going to talk to him in just a few minutes. Wow, what a drive.
Jansu Foster setting the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. Might have had some of that OTS still saved up. Just decided to leave it on for the entire lap. You might as well if you're not going to use it to get around anybody. It was a great race. Great showcase of skill.
It was, absolutely. We're going to take a quick step aside here. You've been watching the Super Formula B Series here on the iRacing Officials, presented in partnership with SimRacingNation.com. We'll be back right after this with your results and interviews with whoever in this race wants an interview. Back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here for the post show. Super Formula B Series officials here on a Saturday afternoon, at least in North America anyway. Let's have a look at your results. Winner tonight, Jansu Foster. Led every lap from the pole, wins the race. JT Smeet comes home in second. We're exactly where that driver started. Marcos Alarcon, who we'll talk to in just a few minutes, he finishes in third after starting in fifth. Valerio Tavares in fourth. Philippe Sarkis finishes in the fifth spot. Ludovic Ranson in sixth. Leandro Tercet in seventh. Kyle Shepard eighth. Andrew Petty was ninth. Alexander Shushki rounds out your top 10 here this evening.
In the 11th position, it goes to Court Smith with Darcy Dupeau in the 19, behind in 12. The 14 of Jamie Byrne gets the 13th spot with Brett Greaves right behind in 14th. The newcomer to the top 20 in points, Ansis Law in the 15th spot with the 20 of Sebastian Rodriguez right behind in 16th. Larry Johnson, who we saw a couple issues tonight, was able to recover to a 17th finishing position. Daniel Ramos in the 16 takes home 18th. Victor Odd in 19th. And Pontus in the 21 takes home 20th. Paul Leak in the 24 gets the 21st position with the 18 of Andrea Zanin in 22nd. Vic Gonzalez gets the 23rd spot here tonight. And our early retirement accident, the 11 of Simon Scholes, finishes out in 24th.
Bet those last three drivers did not complete the race. Let's look at your results here. Now it's time for some interviews. We have three drivers down and ready here for interview. Let's start off with Marcos Alersong. Marcos, it's Morgan and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing well, and yourself, good sir.
Well, I'm excited, man. It was an intense race, but I'm happy.
Absolutely. Ran in the third position, started in fifth, were able to gain a few spots throughout this race. And it looked like this racetrack being so fast and technical at the same time, drivers were on edge all night, especially off that last corner. Where did you find the part of the racetrack where you were the best and the part of the racetrack where you struggled the most?
Honestly, it's a hard track to overtake, but the point is in the hairpin. But before you have this long right-hander, and it's difficult to keep it close to the car in front. But yeah, it's a fun track, but very hard to overtake here.
Well, you ended up really being able to close up that gap to the number 2 of JT Smeaton. Now, where do you think you could have improved on the track to maybe get around and have that second finishing spot on the night?
Honestly, I'm happy with my pace, but it was the quali. I messed it up in second lap on the quali. The pace on race was good for me. These guys are fast as hell, and Foster and JT. But yeah, I'm happy with the pace. Mini mistakes here and there, but not a big thing.
I can't say I blame you. You did have the second fastest lap time in the field with a 1 minute 18 second and 0.220. So very quick out there yourself, Marcos.
Yeah, thank you. But second, it's second. you know.
Awesome. Well, that is your third place finisher tonight, Marcos Alersong. Anything you want to say before we put you back down in the waiting room?
No, just thank you for my team and my family, of course, and you too, guys, for the broadcast. It's been amazing these weeks. So thank you, and hope see you soon.
Hope to see you soon as well. Congratulations on P3 here. We'll hopefully chat with you next week.
Okay, thank you. See you, Logan. Bye, Morgan.
All right, that
What a
is
nice
your third.
guy.
He's a very nice guy. Many people are. Anyway, that's your third place finisher, Marcos Alersong. Now let's have a chat with your fourth place finisher, Valerio Tavares. Valerio, Morgan, and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Hello, it's a weekly occurrence, and I'm quite enjoying it. P4 here for
Yeah,
you
man.
this afternoon. I mean, you started in fourth as well. Is there anything you could have done differently to get up there with the likes of Jansu Foster, JT Smeaton, and Marco Salerson, or was this just what the car had today?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have done a better start. I lost the position to Marcos right then, and I tried to keep up. He was still super fast, so I think if he hadn't taken me there, he would have probably overtaken me during the race. He was very fast too. And then I got lucky with I think someone in front of him spawn, and I inherited that position back. But it was good. I mean, I hit as we say in soccer, I hit the post on the podium there. It was close.
Close it was. You've picked up 4 wins in this past week to just rocket yourself to the top of the standings right now. Tell me how that's going for you. Any notable, obviously we couldn't quite see it here tonight, but any notable races there for you throughout the rest of the week?
So this week I didn't race much. I started practicing yesterday. I had one really fun race. But I mean this week was tough with the day job. But yeah, I mean Marcos is coming close. I mean he's 1 week behind on the points, but he has amazing points and he's probably gonna catch up. And like I said in the other interview, I'm hoping for a P5 top 5 at the end of the championship. I think I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely looking for that top 5. So hopefully you get it. I mean, of course, you're going to have to fight very hard. There's a lot of drivers who are excellent that we keep seeing in these races, and then obviously throughout the week, more great drivers. Well, I got you up here. Anyone you want to thank, shout out for what was a 4th place, hard-fought effort here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, my wife as always, and today's a buddy of mine birthday, so I'll give a shout out to him, Fabio. Happy birthday, buddy. I'm kind of late for his birthday party, so I'll catch up with you soon.
It's worth it, I promise.
Yep.
Congratulations on the P4. We'll hopefully see you next week.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for making this happen. It's been fun as always.
You bet. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Another nice guy, Logan.
Another nice guy.
Now we're going to go to a third nice guy, and that's going to be your winner here tonight. None other than Jansu Foster. Let's get him up here. Kevin, Morgan and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello, hello.
2 weeks on the broadcast. In 2 weeks, you are in victory lane. This one, a little easier than the last, I would say, as far as battling goes. What was it like for you out there?
Yeah, hello Morgan. Hello Logan. How are you guys? Yeah, out there battling with myself primarily. Just tried not to get in my own head. Quali was pretty good. Managed to set a pretty decent lap. Made a tiny mistake, but didn't let that affect me going into the race. And then just really tried to put my head down, hit my marks, stay consistent, and then lap after lap, just see if I could eke out the pace in the car.
And that you did is you set your fastest lap, actually the entire fastest lap of the race, the only driver into the 17-second bracket on that last lap. I assumed you had pretty well your entire 200 seconds of the OTS available. Is that how you managed to sneak that one out there at the very end, Kevin?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the overtake system is useful when you're battling other cars, and it's quite a tactical, strategical element of this car. But when you've got a little bit of breathing room, you can use it as sort of a hot lapping tool. And so kind of timed it so I shot all of my OTS in a 200-second burst right at the end. So had about 2.5 laps of constant OTS running. And with these cars, the tires, they don't fall off a cliff. They really like to be pushed. They really like to come in lap after lap. Some of our slowest laps are usually at the beginning of the race. It's near the end that you get that peak grip, and you just got to use it right at the end. And yeah, managed to set a 17, which was my goal.
Well, mission accomplished here for the number 1 machine, who started first, led all the laps, finished first with the first fastest lap. So, all in all, simply lovely, I believe you would say, for Kevin
Yeah,
Foster here this
simply
evening.
lovely.
Simply lovely. Who you want to thank, who you want to shout out for what was a just pure perfection out here in this on this French course?
Yeah, well, as usual, I want to thank my family, my friends, my supporters, and happen to notice Lucas' hand and my girlfriend Adele in the chat, both supporting. Lucas is at the Rotax Western Canadian Finals, so a national karting event going on this weekend. So best of luck to him. And I've got to thank SRN, and Alan. You know, I thanked him on the last broadcast, but I'll thank him again. He's just all around an amazing guy. We always keep in touch, and I'm sure that he watched this one. So shout out to him.
Yeah, big shout out to simracingnation.com for allowing us the opportunity, all the drivers, as well as us broadcasters, to be able to be a part of this for this iRacing official event. So thank you very much for your time, Kevin, and congratulations here on the win.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. The broadcast is always something to look forward to at the end of every week.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Yep, no, thanks, guys. See you next week.
You as well. That was your winner tonight, Kevin Foster.
And what a dominating effort from Foster. 26 laps led is no easy feat, no matter where you're at. And to do it in a fashion where it's every single lap of the race, that's just hands down impressive.
Yeah, I ran a 160 lap race last night, only led 10 of them. So, like, I mean, what more can you say? He was absolutely dominant today. Just an incredible drive for Jansu Foster. And once again, you have been watching Formula B Series here on iRacing on a Saturday afternoon, evening, maybe night, maybe it's Sunday morning. It doesn't, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you're enjoying what you have seen here on VSPEED. Of course, we have to thank everyone at Sim Racing Nation, especially Alan, who made all these collaborations happen and gave us the ability to use this forum to show these great drivers in a place where they normally wouldn't be seen here on YouTube. So definitely big thank you for that. And I can thank all the drivers for showing up and driving, and it was a great field, the biggest one we've had, 24 cars. Usually we don't cross more than 17 or 18, so it was nice to see that many cars in the field here tonight. And for everyone at VSPEED, I need to thank Bradley, Eddie, Adam, of course, Logan for leading here this evening. It was a lot of fun working with him, as it always is. I've been Morgan Cook, your color commentator and producer, and you have been watching VSPEED. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see this race happen next week, make sure to find that donation link in the description and make those donations get up to 55 American dollars. And then we can do another one of these next week. We're not quite there yet. We're going to need your help to be able to get there and fund this show. With that being said, thank you for your time, everyone, and we'll see you next time here on VSPEED later tonight for NSRLA and SRN. See you in a bit.